Chat. I'm getting a new PC, by the way. I am getting a new PC. Am I live? This is gonna be my new PC, guys. And we're gonna play games with it. We're gonna stream. We're gonna edit better. By the way, RAM price is insane. This used to cost like 150 euros, by the way. Now it's 459. So yeah. And we're gonna probably play Winsmith. Some other like new games came out as well. And then Lord of Mysteries, of course, when it comes out. I'm not waiting for fucking 3 years until prices go down, which maybe they never will. You know, praise the mods. Hello Kravish, hello Master, hello Kung Fu Chicken, hello Klein Fraud, nice to see you. Hello Constantine, hello Rare. I had an argument with Fanbear today on Discord. Kung Fu Chicken is such a cool name, by the way. Yeah, like this fucking. I wanted 5070 Ti, but literally 5070 Ti was twice as expensive as this, by the way. Anyway. Down by the river. We had a peak meeting last time. It was Monday. A lot of names were mentioned. A lot of the pirates. I mean, the main one seems to be Nust, right? Also, Maiden Tracy was mentioned. Now, I said she might be on the death pathway, but when I thought about it, like Black Fire and Ice, maybe on the Demoness pathway, right? Vice Admiral Deep Sea, Blood Senor, Catella, Iceberg Edwina Edwards. Who else was mentioned? The owner of the Black Tulip. Lodwell. And Ivan as well, right? Instice today? You bet Instice today. Actually, by the way, I think this is actually better. I'm gonna keep the notes open so we can go back to when we need to talk about something, right? The Hidden Sage dies. Everyone dies this chapter, guys. Everyone dies. We're gonna see, what was his name? Leonard soon, I feel like, as well. For Korea. Sheesh, good luck. Okay, 294 we're starting off with today. Right? Woof! Susie looked at her mistress in confusion. That was the last line. Also, the taste of Demoness ain't bad. Did you guys know that? The taste of Demoness ain't bad. Hello for myself. What's up? Yeah, that's it. I showed everyone, right? Okay, let's go. Also, Zeus is gonna advance to sequence 8 telepathist, by the way. And you know, my theory that everyone hates me for it is that Zeus is gonna die, and that's gonna be a big character development moment for Audrey. Which, you know, I don't want it to happen, but I have a sneaky feeling in my stomach. You know, Audrey is best girl, and I don't want Susie to die. I want Susie to be Audrey's left-hand girl. What's it called? A sidekick? Yeah, a sidekick. What's up, Observer? Also, if you're here, please like the stream. It really helps a lot, by the way. So we can keep the reading streams on this channel. If anime stuff takes off, like it has recently, we might start streaming on a donghua channel instead. And then something with the algorithm and stuff, right? Anyway, 295. 94, sorry. Admiral of Stars. I think I'm too bright. 1 second. Sidekick, exactly. No, it's bad when you can't remember the name for sidekick, dude. The term sidekick. It's so sunny outside, bro. It's like minus 12. And it's so sunny. What do you think about the PC, guys? 9070 XT, Ryzen 9 7900X for editing, by the way, as well. It's not mainly for gaming. If I want the gaming, I would have taken something else. Water cooling. And it costs 2,000. Anyway, let's check the weather. Weather check. What's in your country, guys? Minus 11 here. I think it was like minus 30 at night on, like, not on the, because I live on the coast, right? It's warm on the coast, but inside my country, like in the middle, there was like minus 30 at night. Minus 25? Yeah, because you live in tundra, man. Let's see who has the coldest temperature. Or hottest. And then let's start reading. Let's wait a few seconds for people to join in. You have the coldest? In the chat, I mean. Yeah, Real lives, or Fanber lives in the tundra biome. Minus 27 at night, minus 8. Yeah, it was also like minus something, 20 something at night a few days ago. 3 degrees, okay. Kung Fu Chicken also 3 degrees, okay. I wonder if you live in the same place. Oh, Scotland, never mind. I think for myself is in Korea right now, so. Damn, a viewer from the UK, that's cool. Sorry for calling, sorry for saying UK, Scotland. Anyway, let's get into it, man. That's a big change, Masters. Holy. Also, this, like, I didn't know you can pull up the notes like this, by the way. Like, what's the point of Google Drive? I guess to highlight, like, pathways, I guess. Ring, 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 ring. Client circled the lawn behind Leopard's house for a few times on the bicycle. The interior had just completed. Oh, like, cling, cling. It's not bad, it's just as expected, but there's no need to make... Oh, I'm not recording, by the way. Ring, 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 ring. Client circled the lawn behind Leopard's house a few times on this bicycle the inventor had just completed. Ooh, it's not as bad, it's just as expected, but there's no need to make a lone standing bell. The cyclists won't be able to free a hand when they encounter the situation. Yeah, like handle bell, right? You can combine the bell with the handle. This will make it simpler and more adequate for situational developments. Client's right hand clasped the brake tight, slowing the bike down to a stop. Did Leopard add like a real bell? Like above you, like let's say like a tail, and then bell here, and just go like ring, 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 like that. That's crazy. Leopard thought for a moment. Yes, that's right. I was simply imitating the ringing bells of the carriages and forgot that this is a brand new mode of transportation. At this point, he looked at Klein, who was getting off the bike with great familiarity as he placed it on a rack. You're given the feeling that you've ridden similar type of transportation tool before, and you rode it very well. I wonder why. I'm sure that all the other bikes on the market are very flawed and very different from my bike. 26 degrees? It's minus 12, bro. Sir, do you have time to learn more about bicycle sharing systems? As a clown, I should actually be able to ride a unicycle. Exactly. Klein silently lampooned before smiling. Lampooned make a comeback, by the way. Last time lampooned was mentioned was before Klein killed Lanavus, by the way. There's nothing to do with experience. The key is outstanding balance and exercise. He quickly changed the subject, but based on your introduction just now, the production cost is quite high and is quite at odds with our production's market segment. You have to come up with a plan as soon as possible to reduce the cost, and you have to understand that nobles, magnates, and other people in the high-class society will definitely not choose to ride their own bicycles. It will be disgraceful, and same goes for the middle class with annual income of £300 or higher. Yeah, it's like a working class working class vehicle. Also, I want to say they don't have plastic, right? Because there's no oil in the ground. Like they can't make penicillin. So all the materials have to be like heavy metal, right? Wait, are bikes made out of like no, bikes are not made of plastic. What am I saying? Are they? No, they're not. This is just a prototype. Yeah, a term invented by Emperor Cell. Oh, of course. It's normal to have a high cost if the subsequent industrialization is successful. I believe it won't be a problem to lower it to £6. Ooh, it's like a 6-week wage, right? If we can find a cheap replacement material for natural rubber, it will be even better. That's the most expensive component. If you can cheap replacement material for natural rubber. How do you make rubber? You want to know what a penicillin is? Isn't that plastic? Penicillin? Oh. Wait. Plastic. Might be trolling, guys. Might be trolling. Penicillin and plastic related. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, there's no plastic. Have I never rode a bike? Yes, I have a bike. Isn't the material... Okay, whatever, man. Anyway, how do we get better rubber? Let's see what client says. Leopard long considered this problem as he replied. Unfortunately, no crude oil has... Yeah, you can use... you make oil to make rubber. Sorry, you use oil to make rubber, right? No crude oil has been found in this world yet. I wonder if it actually exists or not. I mean, if it does exist, I do think it exists in the Forsaken Land of God, right? Can there find gold tar be a replacement in this aspect? I feel like it's gonna have a really like short lifespan if you used gold tar. I'm neither a student of this profession nor a savant, Klein thought for a moment and said, if the cost can be kept below your £4, you'll be rich. As for the cheap material used to replace natural rubber, you can go through Rosell's manuscript, maybe he has some ideas. Ah, yeah, Leopard said before, suddenly added. Speaking of which, I just remembered that there will be an Emperor Rosell memorial exhibition at the Royal Museum next week. That's cool. Rubber tree? Yeah, but that's natural rubber. That's expensive. Yeah, exactly. Did you not know rubber trees exist, by the way? Rubber trees exist. I know it because of Minecraft. Like some Minecraft mod when I was 12, which is 13 years ago. Yeah. And you have to like take the rubber from the tree and then build like mechanisms with that. I remember. That was time, man. 13 years ago. Holy shit. Sir, do you have time to learn more about bicycle sharing systems? As a oh, sorry. Also, why do they have Rosell expedition in Tingen if he's from Intis? Is it because he's just so fucking famous? Like he's the most famous world leader? I mean, yeah, he made it he made this world into the industrial era, so it makes sense. Aluminum seal or carbon fiber. Okay, cool to know. Industrial Craft 2? Exactly! You know what I mean! Exactly! Rosell is a hero of humanity? Yeah, W. Rare Rosell W. It's organized by the Church of the God and Steam and Machinery. Rumor has it that there will be the original blueprints of Emperor Rosell's inventions and all kinds of relics. The original invention, blueprints, and all kinds of relics. Kleinhardt skipped a beat and pressed... What is it exactly? I'm very interested. Ooh, assist from Leopard, by the way. Because of Leopard, Klein is gonna go there now. From next Tuesday, the next Friday, every day from 9 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon, although Emperor Rosell was once the enemy of the kingdom, the allure of his legendary life hasn't declined because of this. Yeah, makes sense. I'll take some time out of my schedule to visit the expedition. Klein fished out his bulging wallet and took out 2 £10 and 2 £5 notes. So £25. Here's the second payment. Use it 2 5, 2 10, oh, £30. Use it to study how to cut costs and make the most perfect application at the patent office. Oh, we shouldn't. No. I don't think so. I think we should let Jürgen do it, right? We should let Jürgen do the patent. I don't trust Leopard. If you don't have a lawyer, you know I can introduce you one. Okay. At the last 20 pounds will be given to you next week to find new investors and complete two industrializations of the product. Of course, I'll also help you get in touch with people who are interested. He had never thought of monopolizing the profits of a bicycle. Tell Audrey to invest, and we're gonna be going to the moon, by the way. We're going to the moon. First, he lacked the money for mass production, and second, he believed that he lacked the social connections needed for industrialization promotion and sales. He could barely do it himself or hire people to do it. It was hard work with no guarantee of success. It was even possible that he might make a loss. In that case, it would be better to bring in new investors with relevant resources and channels and let the professionals handle the professional work. More importantly, he would then have the opportunity to cash out a certain amount of shares in advance, accumulating the resources and cash that he needed to advance to Faceless. He wanted to avoid running into a situation where he encountered the ingredients but lacked the money to buy them. Smart, by the way, very smart. Besides, I have no intention to be a bicycle tycoon. My identity is sensitive. I should stay away from things that might draw society's attention towards me before I become a Faceless. Yeah, true, because when you become a Faceless, you can have like multiple different personalities, you know. Like call yourself like Neil or something, you know. Neil... Neil... Not Moriarty, but Durrimore. Neil Durrimore, you know? Inside in his heart. I know several lawyers. I became a Faceless. I'm acting as a magician, not businessman or a factory owner. Inside in his heart. I know several lawyers, Leopard muttered, and received the second round of investment funds. Why don't you go to the bank and apply for a loan? When we get the patent, I'm sure that that bank will loan us money, like the Backland Bank or Varvad Bank. We're not just bringing investors, but resourceful channels, connections, and skills. Do you understand? Klein explained with a smile. He then put on his hat and said, "When you applied for a patent, send me a letter. You know my address." Okay, cool. What's up, Shara? On the Sonia Sea stood an island with extinct volcano. Okay. One by one, ships with masts and sails approached the shore, crowding up the reasonably sizable wharf. Is this Olga or some of the other pirates I mentioned earlier? The sound of pirates singing, shouting, laughing, cursing, and cheering filled the air, turning the place into a sea of revelry. Oh, isn't this the meeting maybe that Olga is going to? The hanged man, Olga Wilson, stepped off the Blue Avenger and climbed a cliff not far away, and watched all of this in silence. With the exception of the 4 kings and the 7 pirate admirals, the rest of the pirates only received the news of the event a week ago. Okay, most of them won't be able to arrive in time, as this prevents the navies of the different countries and the powerful beyonders from the various searchers to launch an assault. I wonder if we're gonna see Tracy. What's her Tracy? I do think she's on a death or assassin pathway. Olga watched the pirates carrying out buckets of ale without his attention on them, or Nust. He knew that the Loan Kingdom already had a few generations of ironclad warships, but he wasn't worried about meeting one here. So pirates are using like frigates, right? Or frigate. And then ironclad is the one with goal, right? This was because only 4 months ago had passed and the advertised invincible fleet still needed more ironclad warships and different types of ships for support. That was the event that Audrey went to in the very first chapters, right? As well as the time to train military officers, sailors, and gunners, there was no way they could create a combat force without a year's time. Even as Olga's thoughts drifted away, the pirates on ship and wharf suddenly cried out in alarm. Some ran deep into the island, some hurriedly steered their ships away from the wharf, as if they were running from devils and the plague. What the fuck is a wharf? Sorry, I should have looked it up earlier. Weird. Stop talking about future chapters, man. Okay, wharf is a sturdy structure built along the shore of harbor, river, or canal. Okay, what happened, bro? in just a few minutes, the bustling scene from before was reduced to a desolate mess and silence. Some of the big guns arrived. Olga turned his head to look at the sea and saw a ship painted black with a huge white flag with a skull hanging from its mast. The skull was pitch black and its eye sockets burned with ghostly blue flame. Black Death? Oh, it's that guy is called like Descendant of Death, right? Olga, Black Death, Olga whispered. He understood why the pirates had scurried off. Whenever Vice Admiral Almond Tracy passed... Oh, never mind, it's Tracy. She would leave a wake of people who got sick for no reason. I think Tracy is more likely to be an assassin, though. Maybe sequence 5 assassin? Anyone have Tracy art, by the way? Black Death approached the shore slowly as a figure wearing a white linen shirt and dark red coat appeared at the ship's bow. The figure was a quite beautiful lady. Okay, beautiful lady, you know, 1 point to the assassin theory. And she also exuded a heroic vibe. Her beautiful black hair was coiled up high and she had a white scarf wrapped around her head. She wore a beige pants and had tall and slender figure and had no lack of elegance. What attracted the most attention was the woman's long, straight eyebrows and the sharp, bright blue eyes. As she looked around, her eyes could occasionally lose focus, making her look adrift and exceptionally alluring. A wandering poet who had mixed himself with the pirates that arrived at the edge of the cliff at some point, he began reciting. Okay, a wandering poet. Interesting. Master wrote that so fast, man. She will always be a girl. Okay, was she always a girl, though? That's a sus statement to say. She indeed brings alignments. Oh, I'm sick, my mind is full of her. A number of pirates who left gathered once again as they looked at Ailment Maid and Tracy mesmerized. Olga held back his feelings of contempt as he glanced on the pirates and scoffed inwardly. Yeah, definitely assassin pathway, by the way. Truly a bunch of fellows with no future or will. All they knew was Hyde moments ago, but now they're become seduced by her beauty. Though Ailment Maiden is indeed very beautiful, it's not the extent that will cause them to act this way. Ugh, a beyond their power led to allurement. Okay, it's confirmed now, man. It's confirmed. As his mind was whirling, Vice Admiral Alignment Tracy left Black Death and began talking to the Black Palace deep within the island. Walking, not talking, sorry. At that moment, a huge sailboat appeared on sea. The flag depicted an eyelashless eye. Oh, creepy. With 10 stars surrounding it. Admiral of Stars, Catlea. Olga nodded gently and muttered silently. Okay, so we have a big group coming here, right? As the Black Death and other ships were already docked, the wharf of the huge ship didn't approach the shore. Instead, it went around to the sheltered cliff and anchored. Okay, mysterious. Soon after, gloomy sky suddenly lit up and bits of stellar radiance sprinkled down, condensing in the air to form a transparent long bridge. It led from the giant sailboat to the palace. A woman stepped onto the long bridge and began strolling through the air. She wore a black classical robe with numerous symbols and magic characteristics inscribed on it. The most obvious one was Mysterious Eye with no eyelashes. Mysterious Eye with no eyelashes. Which is a demoness, Tracy. Eye with no eyelashes. Eye with no eyelashes. I mean, the Seer logo kind of looks like an eye, but it's not. Interesting. What's up, Kleinfraud? What's up? Sorry, I greeted you like 5 times. Anyway, the most obvious one was Mysterious Eye with no eyelashes. Hanging on this woman's waist there was a celestial robe and a short scepter. She resembled the powerful warlocks who were active in the 4th epoch according to folklore. Ah, warlocks. So wait, Hidden Sage. What's it called? The group. Don't say. I'm not looking at chat. Mystery Briar Group. What was it called again? Man. Not Episcate. That was the death one. Let me just do this. Warlocks are... what's it called again? On sequence 7 on the Mystery Briar. Okay, you can say it. Serious pupilless eye, not eyelashless eye. Ah, yeah, true. What's the group name again? Oh my god, fucking rage baiting me, man. The Moses Ascetic Order, exactly, yeah. I'm gonna actually write it down. Modify. Wait, what the fuck? Modify? Okay. I added in the notes there. See? Now I can... Yeah, see, now the notes come up here as well. That's so cool, by the way. W Kung Fu Chicken, by the way. We're active in the 4th epoch according to the folklore. She resembled powerful warlocks, so the warlocks were probably all on the mystery prior pathway, but what sequences though? Olga looked at and frowned slightly as he muttered in puzzlement. That celestial globe looks familiar. It's like the strange glass bottle I previously obtained, the one I had no idea how to use. It eventually shattered after Mr. Fool pulled me into the gathering. Oh, remember? Oh god. Audrey used a mirror, right? But Olga had a... That's actually fucking interesting. And Olga had a bottle, right? And it broke. Interesting. Does Moses exist? I think the name Moses means something. Doesn't have to be as a name. Moses meaning. Not Mo. Moses. Moses means drawn from the water. Interesting. To pull and throw out. Interesting. Moses means to pull, and Olga got pulled into the grey fog. Huh. All Neil's mysticism class says what sequence warlock is. Yeah, sequence 7 of Mystery Briar. Primarily means drawn from the water. Also, that jar was holding it in the sea. Is the grey fog somehow connected to the hidden sage and mystery briar pathway? Okay. Let's write some... guys, one chapter takes like 35 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm just so interested in this novel that I always get sidetracked. We scan 50... Oh, the grey fog is somehow connected to the Moses Ascetic Order. Moses means... I'm probably like this is just a coincidence. This probably is just a coincidence. Like Olga got pulled into the grey fog. You can probably type in gibberish. What are you saying, little brother? Rear is wants me just read without discussing, I guess. On the outskirts of Empress Borough. So that's really interesting, by the way. So yeah, but why for Audrey it was a mirror though? How is a mirror connected to the grey fog? How was the bottle even? Just like maybe celestial globe looks familiar. Okay, let's not talk about it too much. On the outskirts of Empress Borough, Audrey led her maids and the huge golden retriever Susie into her own manor. Miss, the delivery from Enmat Harbor is just ahead. The butler in charge of the manor said in a respectful tone. All right, Audrey nodded lightly and said half jokingly to the large golden retriever beside her. Susie, this is your present. As they spoke, they turned a corner and saw the so-called gift. It was a giant lizard whose skin changed color depending on how the light hit it. It was 3 meters long, Jesus, and the height reached Audrey's knees. Wait, it was 3 meters long, and it only reached Audrey's knees, or like height this way, or height this way. What the fuck? With it laying on the ground, there were no colossal creatures enormous enough to frighten a child. Woof! She turned her head to look at her mistress and saw that her expression was exactly the same as hers. Apparently, she hadn't expected the gift to be so exaggerated. Bro, don't know what height is. Only thing I hear from your ear is. That's it. All ingredients gathered. Okay, the Moses thing is interesting, by the way. The Moses thing is very, very, very interesting. What's funny? That wasn't that funny, man. Rare, if I hate you, I would not mod you, man. I love you so much. You're my favorite rage baiter and favorite viewer. Anyway, can you hear the music, by the way? I'm gonna. No, it just stopped playing. If you like the stream, please like the video, by the way. Anyway. In a week. Wow. Okay, so Audrey is gonna be, I guess, drinking the potion this episode. How do we know Audrey, sorry, Susie has advanced, by the way. Sorry, Susie is gonna drink the potion, my bad. How do we know that Susie is gonna be ready to advance, though? Audrey had always had a subconscious understanding that the rainbow salamander equals the rainbow salamander's pituitary gland. Yeah, true. You have to just get it out somewhere. What even is a pituitary gland? I never looked it up. Pea-sized master gland. I thought it was a nutsack for a second. This looks like a nut. It's YouTube. This is a brain thing. Anyway, it's a part of the brain. The pituitary gland equals the size of the one's palm. To her, it will be something soft with grooves, beyond the ingredient which constantly changed in color. So what did that have to do with the 3-meter-long colossus in front of her? For a moment she was confused, but when she heard Susie's yelp, she snapped to her senses. She pretended to be satisfied with the result and said to the butler, "It's exactly the animal specimen I need. Just a little bigger than I thought, just a little. Take the servants and move them to the warehouse. I'll study it when I'm free." "Yes, miss," the butler immediately instructed the nearby valets, who were furtively looking at her mistress. Like, what are you doing with that? Audrey looked around and, without another word, led Susie into the manners study, using the excuse that she had to focus on writing a return letter to her brother. She made all the maids she had brought stay outside. After the dissection is done, there will be 2 sets of rainbow salamander pituitary glands. A portion can be used to exchange for a Farsman rabbit, just enough to connect a bottle of telepathy's potion. Oh, it's 2. Audrey gradually recovered from her astonishment and confusion as she began to think about Susie's advancement. No, it's show over. Susie's gonna die. You know, we said Ince is gonna die, Susie is gonna die. At that moment, she thought of a serious problem. She had no idea if Susie had digested her potion. That's what I was saying. Because if you feed her the potion and she hasn't digested it, it's gonna be Joe over. It hasn't been completely digested. Consuming the telepathy's potion would easily lead to a loss of control. She isn't like a human who can endure through it. Wait, how did she endure it the first time? Besides her current intelligence about that of a 10-year-old child, she's already learning words in the Loan language, and she said she wishes to read newspaper magazines, as well as books. Audrey fell silent for a few seconds. She glanced at the confused, large golden retriever that sat beside her. "Susie, have you completely digested your potion?" "Digest?" Susie returned with a clear articulation, expressing her puzzlement. Yeah, isn't like digesting a too complicated topic for her to understand, because she literally is like a 10-year-old. Audrey had already told her that she had taken was a potion, and she had warned her not to tell anyone, not to tell any intelligent animals that could bark or meow. Wow. Wait, can Susie talk to other animals, and can Susie translate us what other animals are saying? Audrey nodded her head slowly and heavily. It's a very strange and unique feeling. It feels like something illusory inside your body breaks down and fuses with your mind. You will vaguely see illusory stars one after another, and you will be one of them. And you will be on one of them. The stars will attract each other in a bid to fuse as one. Susie quietly listened to everything, then replied with a light and brisk voice. Then I should have completely digested it. I had a similar feeling before. Are you sure? Are you sure, Susie? Are you sure? Susie has completely digested this. Susie has completely digested the spectre potion, but no one taught her the acting method. Oh my god, she was just, acting on herself, like looking and spectating, At most, I would occasionally remind her to observe more and remain calm, Audrey asked in astonishment. Then, when did you digest it? Last month, the month before last, or perhaps even earlier. She tried to her best to recall when seeing that her mistress' expression was getting odder and odder. She hurriedly wagged her tail and timidly added, I don't remember, I'm just a dog. I won't purposely remember such a thing. Woof! Sorry. Woof! 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 Susie is talented, by the way. Susie is the goat. Just a dog, but you were only a little slower at digesting than me. Don't tell me that when I interact with other Beyonders, I'll say when it comes to digesting potions, I'm a little better than a dog. Pee! Audrey, what are you thinking? Audrey maintained her elegant smile and politely praised. Very good. I mean, on this matter regarding the digestion of the potion, you did very well. Why is she jealous of a dog, by the way? What the fuck? Give a manly woof. Woof, woof. Woof. No, I can't, bro. Wait. Woof, woof. No, that doesn't sound like Susie. Susie sounds like woof. Susie won't sound like woof, woof. You mean manly bark, bro. For Susie? What's the difference between iShow Speed and 9 though? Nothing. We're the same person. Returning from Leopard's place, Klein took a leisurely afternoon nap. But it wasn't long before she was awakened by illusory, disconcerting cries. Okay. What the fuck? Oh, is it Audrey? Male? Oh, Anged Man or Little Sun is one of the final main ingredients for my potion already. Maybe Olger? Klein carefully tried distinguishing who for a few seconds and soon forgot about his anger from being awakened. He quickly got up, took 4 steps counterclockwise and went over the grey fog. He noticed that the crimson star that symbolized the Hanged Man was contracting and expanding, hence he stretched out his hand, spreading his spirituality before touching it. Okay. After the usually honorary names of the Fool and the Hanged Man prayed, I've already gathered the dark pattern Black Panther spinal fluid and the spring of the Elves marrow crystals. Please permit me to hold a sacrificial ritual and seek your help in handing it to Mr. World. That's pretty fast. The Hanged Man had said that there will be a grand event among the Bard soon. It seems like it's not soon, but now he always holds back when speaking and never fully speaking the truth. Oh, cunning. I nodded indiscriminately and said, sure. After a simple sacrificial ritual, Olga resisted his urge to ask Mr. Fool if the celestial globe and Admiral of Stars Leia had anything to do with him. At this moment, Klein had already forgotten about him and was admiring the 2 Beyonder ingredients on the surface of the long bronze table. The grey fog meat but hidden sage confirmed. No, probably not. Dark pattern Black Panther spinal fluid was seemingly translucent liquid, but if one looked carefully, you will discover that its clarity was also divided into different levels. The lower one went, the more transparent they were at distinct levels. It fully satisfied someone with an obsessive compulsory disorder. The spring of the Elves marrow crystal was similar to a faded egg. Its shell was very thin and it looked like it could easily shatter at a touch. Even without shaking, one could still hear the sound of swishing water inside. I should be able to get 300 pounds and a formula clue. My magician is only short of the true root and juice of the mist tree ant. I wonder when Little Sun will complete the mission. Klein waited in anticipation. As for the other supplementary ingredients, he had already bought them at various stores. For example, the Prophet gem he needed to buy was purchased from a jewelry store and he had ground into powder. 5 grams was about 2.5 pounds. Okay. The Sun didn't keep Klein waiting for long. On Wednesday evening, he whispered a prayer to the Fool that he had prepared the true root and juice of the mystery ant and asked him to pass them to the world. To the world. The miscreant's true root was heart-shaped, brown, palm-sized, and wrinkled. It looked like an old man's skin. Ew! But it was smooth as exquisite as a gem. It was slightly expanding and contracting, as though it had a certain amount of vitality. Its juice was light green and sparkling, making it look very delicious. Klein looked at them, feeling a little smug. Why? Because it looks delicious? In the present day and age, sequence 7 was the threshold of meat sequence beyonder. Okay, I'm gonna look at chat now. Klein sequence 7. No, Insta is this episode. This meant for a beyonder would finally be able to bid farewell to the state of being only slightly stronger than ordinary people in certain aspects. They will be able to wield a relatively abundance of beyonder powers. Oh, Klein slowly exhaled, returning to his bedroom and summoned himself to bring the beyonder ingredients to the real world. He didn't prepare any additional vessels. He washed an iron pot in the kitchen a few times and began to concoct the potion according to the steps of handling the supplementary ingredients before handling the main ingredients. With the clown's ability and controlling his body, he quickly finished the first stage, and one by one he put in a dark pattern Black Panther, the spinal fluid, and the miscreant true root. I was wondering prior to when verse says it, where the little son nicked. Oh, I didn't even notice, by the way. True, little son. It's so engraved in my head, by the way. The little son. It's like, oh, Klein said it like multiple times already. Oh, that's just normal. That's so cute, by the way. Little son. Wait. And the mystery and true root. Sizzle. With a jarring sound, the pale white fog suddenly rose and was forcefully pulled back into the pot by an invisible force. When everything calmed down, Klein quickly poured every drop of liquid into a transparent bottle that he had prepared. The liquid was rather special. It was as if fireworks were really being released from within it. Red, orange, yellow, green, and other colors constantly scattered, disappeared, and reappeared again. This was the magician potion. Ooh! Eating it in this episode? Ooh. Klein stuck a coin worth 1 pound between his thumb and index finger on his left hand, flicked it up and opened his palm to catch it. He was using divination to confirm if the potion he concocted had succeeded. Pah! The gold coin fell, its portrait faced up, indicating a positive response. Without any hesitation, Klein put away the gold coin, picked up the potion, and walked out of the kitchen. At that moment, the sky was already dark. The gas lamps in the room hadn't been lit up yet, causing the surroundings to be in complete darkness. Only the light near the oriel window created a gloomy scene. Little son is 6'4". Yeah, bro is huge. I feel like eugenics play a big role in the City of Silver. I kind of feel like only the strong survive, which might be like a necessary thing. Because like young people might be cast aside or die because they're not strong enough. Not young people, sorry, weak people. Or like, I don't want to say weak people, but like people who might not have like genetics out for fighting or being strong and big, you know? Tony is Unk status. You are dumbass. Tony is not Unk status. 25. I'm 25, by the way. 30 is Unk status. Klein is gonna get magician this chapter and immediately kill Ints in this chapter. Klein sat down on the sofa and began cogitation, right? To calm his stirring heart and dispel all of his emotions temporarily from his body. He's cultivating. After doing 25 is ancient. Ugali Kenshin, I like your name. How old are you? After doing all of this, he raised the glass bottle, tipped his head, and drank the magician potion. Gulp, 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 gulp. The ice cold potion went down his throat, and every moment it felt like countless bubbles were bursting. Klein entire body was experiencing this simulation, and massive amounts of information flooded his mind, blooming into fireworks. Is Pro also getting smarter? Who will kill Ints? Klein in this episode. The veins on his forehead bulged and his head felt like it was about to burst. Don't lose control. However, this wasn't a very difficult situation for Klein to endure. Terrifying ravings before entering a grey fog and the evil roars of the true creator were much more terrifying. Hornatsis Fleckrea, it has been so long. Hornatsis Fleckrea, what the fuck is like Fleckrea? I think Fleckrea is like a person Hornazis, obviously, we know what it is. Hornazis Flecrea. The ethereal temptation echoed again. Klein's head expanded and contracted repeatedly before he gradually recovered his thoughts. Okay, not losing control. He began to consciously restrain his thoughts, outline the spherical light, and slowly entered the stage of cogitation. After an unknown period of time, his vision recovered. At the same time, he felt an itch all over his body, with his arms feeling the worst. Bro is sore from advancing. What the fuck? Which is this chapter? Hello, Mommy Klein. I love your name, by the way. This is the chapter. He's sore after... What the hell? Okay, maybe he has to recover a little bit. Klein rolled up his sleeves and was surprised to see that one of his arms was deeply wrinkled. Ugh, like a centenarian. Remember what the clown did, in Volume 1? He used like a ability like where you hit him, you get the damage instead. It's like, ooh, magic, right? I wonder if Klein is ever gonna bait someone and, he hits Klein, but that guy actually dies because, it's like a ricochet damage, right? The other arm had lost its color and had become translucent. Ew, what the? Permanent? He could directly see his blood vessels, muscles, and veins. This could it be that I had nearly lost control? No, it shouldn't be. This should be the remnant influences. Klein sat down on the sofa in the dark, leaning forward as he watched the anomaly in his arms warily. Warily? As it were breathing around... It was a breeding ground for monsters. What the fuck is happening? Is this an illusion, maybe? And all of this had nothing to do with Klein. He sat quietly on the sofa in darkness, watching his creased skin and the translucent state of his arm slowly recover. 5 to 6 minutes later, Klein silently sighed as everything finally returned to normal. Damage transfer, yeah. Aindu doesn't understand damage transfer. Because we only saw it once. Do you mean like from games and shit? Damage transfer. That's not a real thing even. Because we just we only saw it once in the whole series. Damage delivery. When delivery arrives damaged, immediately document it with photos or back. Anyway, it's him rage baiting again. What? Where am I? Creased the skin and the translucent state of his arm slowly recovered. 5 to 6 minutes later, Klein silently sighed as everything finally returned to normal. It's a good thing that no one came knocking at the door or ringing the bell. I only chose to advance after completely digesting the sequence 8 potion. Nice. With such severe effects, it will be hard for those beyond us so dependent on time and to grind through the potion. It really is difficult to pass this stage. Oh, there we go. Magician. If you look up, you're already spoiled. Yeah, that's like I thought damaged transmission was like a real thing in real life or some shit. My bad. I won't look up like specific things anymore, right? It is really difficult to pass this stage. No wonder Captain took 9 years. No wonder Swain, the former captain of Man Punisher Squad. Oh, Swain! Yeah, the guy who retired, who is a mix of Havre and the donghua, right? And the owner of the evil dragon bar didn't dare to consume the secret 7 potion Seafarer. After sitting silently for more than 10 seconds, Klein slowly stood up. At that moment, he was already a meat sequence beyonder. At that moment, he was already a magician. Hype! Faceless next, by the way. And if you pull out the theories, I think he's gonna fully advance to sequence 6 at the end of volume 2. Sorry, fully digest sequence 7. So, magician. Is there a chance he's gonna fully digest not volume 6, sequence 6? Okay, I wrote on sequence 7. How we are 31% done. Okay, my prediction is sequence 7 fully digested in the end of 2nd volume, and then Ince dies in the next chapter, next volume. Volume 2 is long as fuck. Yeah, we are 31% done. Anyway. I'm so excited for Magician. Do you know about or want to guess what abilities Magician gain? Damage transfer. We saw that from Clown. I'm guessing. I'm guessing a lot of like illusions. Some a little bit like you know, Assassin, but maybe different. What else? I don't think we're gonna do magic tricks, but like something a magician can do, right? Maybe like go invisible for a little bit. No, Insta is in this chapter, Phantom. I'm joking. Moment he was already a magician. Okay, that's it. So it's 2296 magician. Let's go. It's a sequence level, sequence 4. But you know, Rosaro was sequence 5. What stops Klein from hiring, you know, some goons to gang up on Ints? Anyway, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna say hello to my dad and ask him about the PC that we're getting next week. And I'll be right back in like 3 minutes, guys. Like the stream. Here I have an ad. What's up? What's up? What's up, bookies? Where's the song, bro? Talking about League of Legends. League of Legends is so fucking good, by the way. I don't play it anymore though. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. Magician. That game is ass, says guy who has like 5,000 million hours on it. 1 second, guys. I'm stalling final boss. Anyway. There's a new Lord of Mysteries game trailer. Send it to Discord, guys. Is there? If new trailer drop, I'm gonna be watching it immediately. Do you mean this one? Shout out to you, Easy. If it's the one where he walks in the city, then that's what I heard. I haven't seen it though. Like a walking simulator, right? The other one? Which other one? You are an official Beyonder tasked to use divination to find out what happened to Lanevus in sewers. What the fuck? Okay, there's no trailer? Okay. Magician, let's see. He took 2 steps forward and passed the coffee table. Klein stretched his body and shook his wrist, but he found nothing unusual. So his body went like completely back to normal. Bro has no emotions. You mean me? That's crazy, man. He looked at the gas lamp outside the oriel window, which illuminated the darkness and gloominess, and said to himself thoughtfully, "My hands are more agile and I'm more nimble. Even if I don't have Beyonder powers, as long as I work hard enough, I can become a top magician." This was his first impression of his own transformation. And just like that was just like what was recorded in the Nighthawk's records, if a potion provided a specific magical power, and the Beyonder will become aware of it after ingesting it. So they know about the... Okay, they know about the... abilities, because you immediately understand it when you drink it. So they don't need like a teacher or a guidebook, you know? You don't need to go through like a fucking Wikipedia book to learn about your abilities. You just know how to do it immediately. That's why his brain was like surging with knowledge, I guess. They would grasp the specific details as though the corresponding knowledge would be injected and imprinted into the mind through a mysterious method. Just as now my head nearly exploded, Klein smiled and shook his head, carefully recalling what he had felt and the corresponding magical spells. Had to be said, the magician was indeed considered a powerful sequence 7, with it possessing many miraculous abilities that could be all cast very quickly. Miraculous! That makes me think like you can... I don't know. I wonder if you can like already... No, I was like, oh, can you like already be a puppet master? But no, you have to be like marionettist for that, right? Marionettist is the puppet master. Wrap it up. Would cast very quickly. Among them, there were 3 Klein valued and liked the most. Okay, let's get into it. The most important one was damage transfer. That's what they said! Bro, someone said damage delivery. That's crazy. As long as he didn't die instantly, as long as his hands could still move, he could transfer the vital wounds to unimportant areas, like his arms during fatal wounds into minor injuries. Okay. It was very useful beyond their ability for life preservation and actual combat. Interesting. Very interesting. That's what it means. Okay. So, Fenber was right. You don't transfer it to the opponent, you transfer it into like your fingers or some shit, right? Okay. Okay, yeah, there's like a pretty good defensive ability, I'm not gonna lie. Like, let's say you got hit in the fucking stomach or you got like shot in the heart. Quickly, you know? And it goes to your ear or something. The only problem is that sequence 7 wounds can only be transferred around my body. There's only one opportunity, perhaps as my sequence is raised. What about combining the ear? No, wait. No, because you can't do it in up here. But let's say you're a marionettist at sequence 5. Can you control someone and then put the wound on that person you're controlling? Because that's kind of like an extension of yourself, maybe. Yeah, true for myself. The only problem is that sequence 7 wounds can only be transferred around my body, and there's only one opportunity. Perhaps the sequence was raised, the wounds can be transferred to other items or people. Yeah, it really does feel like magic, I imagine the future. The second spell was Flaming Jump. Ooh, with a range of 30 meters, he could face between a fire spark that he had left behind and any flame that existed. It was similar to teleportation, which seemed to gain its uniqueness with help from the spirit world. Well, it can be used to its fullest when performing magic, Klein mocked himself inwardly with great satisfaction. More importantly, as he digested the potion and raised his sequence, the range of Flaming Jump would increase significantly. The third type of Beyonder spell was the air bullets, which Klein had seen the Sude Clown from the Secret Order use. Yeah, true. The magician could produce air projectiles with power and speed comparable to that of the bullets fired from a custom revolver, just by snapping his fingers or mimicking sounds. Furthermore, the effects will improve along with the digestion. Okay, so you don't need your tarot cards anymore, and you don't need your gun anymore. That's crazy though. What the fuck? You can go like kill someone, and you don't even, you don't need to have a murder weapon. I mean, you can also like, rip their neck like he did, but that's gonna be really useful. Klein suspected that at sequence 4 or 5 he could create his own cannonball. I wonder, like, how far can it go? How far can it go? Can you create like a huge ass, like, I don't know, that's the biggest thing I can think of as a weapon, like huge ass meteor? Like at like sequence 1. What else? Because like I have seen Record of Models Journey, it's a cultivation donghua, right? And they do some crazy shit, bro. This way I don't need to buy more revolvers and bullets anymore. No, I still need to buy one. There are many matters that I don't need me to expose my Beyonder powers. Any problem that can be solved with guns in the problem. Klein nodded indiscriminately and began to examine the other spells and spells-like abilities. The fourth type was paper figurine substitutes. Oh, like substitution jutsu. Their bullet scale with sequences. The higher sequence, the stronger the power. Ooh, I wonder if stronger the size as well. I'm gonna check the art and the trailer after this chapter, guys. A paper figurine substitutes. At a critical moment, the magician will temporarily change the paper figurine into him. Ooh, while he swapped places. Yeah, that's what I talked about earlier. That's what I meant. It was a relatively simple substitute spell that could not only block a fatal blow, but also weaken damage from hexes. Wait, hexes? I'm baking? Bro said baking! I never heard anyone say baking, bro. Is a good thing or bad thing? So this is the use of all the paper figurines that marionettist Rosago had brought with him. I didn't even fucking think about that. That's so true, man. Sometimes you gloss over something. He must feel regret because he was contaminated by the true creator and didn't have the chance to use a substitute at all. The biggest problem with this spell is the need to prepare the materials beforehand, which means that the paper and figurines have to be cut in advance. In the early days of the 5th epoch, Beyonders who brought similar items would undoubtedly be regarded as a dark warlock. Okay. A dark warlock, not just a warlock. If they're covered now, it's most likely be suspected. I wonder if you can. Switch between Mystery Briar and Seer. Wait, did I write that down actually? I have to double check, brother. Mystery Briar. No, I think Mystery Briar can be swapped with Savant. Doesn't mean that Mystery Briar can't be swapped also with Seer, right? And also, I think, what was it called again? Savant, yeah. Okay, interesting. The fifth kind of spell-like ability was called Flame Controlling. Ooh, as the name implied, one could manipulate flames with a range of 30 meters with a simple action. It could also be used to ignite certain items within this range. Once motion was being completely digested or written, or when it once in sequence, one could summon a swirling flame out of thin air. Interesting. Don't you just take the what's up, Along Kuchan? Wouldn't you just take the... I guess you have to have like a source of oxygen. I'm just overthinking this. The sixth was illusion creation. Okay, illusions, like I said. By influencing the surrounding environment, one could create illusions with colors, sounds, and smells that were close to reality, allowing one to pass off the fake as the truth and deceive the enemy. Huh. There's a speciality of magician. Klein chuckled and walked over the oriel window as he took the night scene of the streets with great satisfaction. This seems like it's so much stronger than Clown, right? I feel like there's a power spike after sequence 8. Or is it just because this is, you guys said the strongest sequence 7, right? I love the hand emoji, guys. Hello. I feel like if we think about this logically, I think sequence 6 is a power spike, sequence 4 is a power spike, and then sequence 2 or 1 is a power spike as well. Sequence 7 is start of the mid sequences, yeah. So maybe listen guys. What if it's okay, 7 power spike and then 4 power spike? Yeah, that's what I said. What? The 7th was a fake form of underwater breathing. The principle behind it was to create a thin, invisible air pipe, which would allow the magician to breathe freely. Oh, that's not really underwater breathing. It's just invisible air pipe. But yeah, to breathe freely and seemingly turn into so-called murlocs. Oh, World of Warcraft reference. The problem was that I wonder if Cuttlefish was playing World of Warcraft, by the way. The problem was that the air pipe had limited length. At its present stage, Klein could only maintain it at around 5 meters. Which meant that if the water depth exceeded 5 meters, he could drown. Also, really good ability for escaping a sticky situation, because they don't expect you they don't expect you to go underwater, right? If it's like a, police or Nighthawks or whatever you're running from. Wow, the WoW reference, we got over this already. If you recall, the fraud Frogo uses flame controlling very briefly against Mr. Bodyguard when they fought as well as a method of combat. Oh, okay. Yeah, true. The 8th was spelled like abilities bone softening. Bone softening. Oh, you make your bones into jelly? This will help magician break free from handcuffs, ropes, and chests. Oh. Magician break free from chests. In what scenario are you stuck in a chest? Like a casket? It's also speciality Klein thought in a good mood. Why? The 9th was the evolution of Clown's ability to turn paper into throwing knives, called throwing paper as weapons. Not only could you turn paper into sharp objects, but it could also temporarily turn into weapons such as bats or pricks. I guess you make a melee weapon, right? Or melee weapon out of this? A melee weapon, right? Because you already have the air bullets, right? I wonder what the speed is. Like, are those air bullets like arrows? Where like if you shoot like an arrow, it doesn't kill you instantly, but bullets are like go faster and basically can kill you instantly if you hit the chest or if you hit like vital spots. But arrows, it's like weaker, right? These were the 9 main spells or spell-like abilities of magician, although they weren't particularly strong in both the offensive and defensive aspect. It's a strong all-arounder, by the way. It's a very strong all-arounder. Nor were they particularly bizarre, they stood out for their variety. They allowed Klein's strength to instantly rise by more than 1 level, and his life preservation and means of escape became even better. Yeah. Moreover, magicians had the ability to cast spells at high speeds. This was a sequence of Beyonders that didn't need to chant or inject spirituality, which was a simple action. Oh, they could cast a corresponding spell or spell-like ability. That's what he meant when he says he can like cast spells really fast, right? Air bullets are like normal bullets, but every sequence it gets faster or bigger, right? So like at one point, Klein could be shooting meteors or some shit, right? He even said he wants like maybe he can shoot cannonballs, which will be absolute cinema. Remember donghua, the mouths at the ground of the secret order made? Those were made with the illusion ability of magician. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. True, actually. In addition, the potion made Klein attain some tiny tricks, but they weren't very practical. Trickster. I can barely be considered quite a good Beyonder, Klein sighed silently. Just as he was about... If Pro had the strongest sequence 7 and he's still like, oh, considered quite a good Beyonder. Go out for a stroll and get another revolver and replenish his bullets at the Braveheart's bar. The gas lamps outside the oriel window, which tainted the crimson moon and moonlight, suddenly turned darker and deeper. Why? Someone coming? Last time it happened, wasn't Klein pulled into like a nightmare? Klein looked up in surprise and saw the dark clouds and mist had dispersed, clearly leaving the red moon, which had a little more than a semicircle. Its outline rapidly turned to a full circle, and in just a few seconds it had turned into a full moon that was red as blood. What is happening? What is she doing? What is the goddess doing? According to normal calendar, according to astronomy, there were still about 10 days left until the next full moon. This is the blood moon. Klein's lips moved slightly as he muttered to himself in relief. In this world, the changes to the room were both regular and irregular. Changes to the room. What? In this world, the changes to the room. Moon? Do you mean moon? Were both regular and irregular. Ordinarily, it was exactly the same experience Klein had in his previous life. However, there were always a few times every year when it would suddenly become round and dark red, just like blood. A situation that had no logic to it. At times, it happened only once a year. At sometimes 4 or 5 times a year. I remember like the uncle of our Discord explained it, some like chemical reaction, but obviously this one is more mysterious than that, right? Ooh, another mystery. The goddess on the move, maybe. I mean, we know that also Force hears whispers from the quote-unquote moon, which I do think is the door, right? That Roselle mentioned. Mr. Door, the door, right? So I wonder if the goddess and the door are somewhat related or not. Neither astronomers nor mystics could explain this phenomenon or come up with pattern, therefore they could only ignore it for the time being as one of the puzzles. They joked that perhaps the goddess was in bad mood, yeah, that's what they're saying, and that a change in a woman's mood was undoubtedly regular. That's crazy. That's so fucking crazy, dude. Of course, not knowing the reason and not being able to understand the essence of the phenomenon didn't mean that there was no corresponding conclusion. In mysticism, people called this situation the blood moon, believing that it would bring about the rise or interruption of negative emotions, and it would strengthen the power of the underworld and the spirit world. Even if dead were summoned, they might still be able to climb out of their graves. Maybe the goddess is having like a Beyonder meeting or something. It's the second time this year, right? Klein stood with the oriel window admiring the clear sky and the disk full moon which has red and glistening. He felt that he was in a relatively good shape. Interesting. Goddess up to no good. Goddess is up to no good, I guess. Maybe, I mean, it happens often and nothing bad happens after, right? In a lot of like mythologies, when the blood moon appears, which is like it happens in real life as well. The moon is red, but it's because of some like chemical stuff happening in the atmosphere, or I don't know. But people think that somewhere a big war happened, or somewhere like a big massacre happened, or something like that, because a lot of blood was spilled. I wonder if it's the same kind of thing where maybe the goddess killed someone and it went red. Maybe, right? Baking is hilarious. An apartment in Sherwood Borough. Also, wasn't it a coincidence that it went red just when Klein advanced to magician? By the way, An apartment in Sherwood Borough, Force Wall. Ooh, wait, talking about Force, who had participated in gathering that night, was unable to make it back home to the two-bedroom apartment in St. George Borough. She sat cross-legged on a sofa in the living room, chewing on a new type of bread which had meat and vegetables in it. Ooh, she had let down her hair as she thought over the plot of her next novel. Isn't it always red? Yeah, but that moment, all the sky was clear and it turned to the full moon, right? Which usually happens only once a month, and it was bright red, like blood was spilled. So maybe goddess spilled blood somewhere, killed someone, killed some sequence 1 crook. She came. Where? Over the plot of her next novel. Suddenly, she frowned and threw away the food and pen in her hand. Why? The moonlight. Oh, because the murmurs. It's a door. The moonlight outside the window grew stronger and redder, and the look of Force's face became more and more painful. Every full moon, she would hear those ravings that will drive her mad. I just talked about it. Bam! She fell off the couch, her body writhing as she struggled. Oh, poor Force. After a while, she pulled out a clump of her hair, but the pain did nothing to ease the explosive sensation in her head, or to calm the urge to end her life with a knife. Aww. Here it comes again. Force muttered in pain as her legs were stretched down from the spasms of pain. Aww. She chanted the name of the god she believed in with great difficulty, seeking redemption. Great god of steam and machinery, you are essential, the embodiment of... You are an artisan, a protector. You are the glory of technology. Glory, as she repeated, and let me copy this chant, by the way. As she repeated, chanted, Force suffering in the pain. Instead, it grew more intense. No, pray to the goddess. Pray to the door. Bam! She tumbled around violently, toppling the coffee table and sweeping the books on it to the ground. Unable to endure it any further, Force frantically used her nails to scratch the wooden leg of the coffee table, creating one deep scratch after another, along with a jarring, screeching sound. Like this, like... Pah! Her fingernails broke. Oh, God! Her hair was growing abnormally long. No! Is she losing control? No! Is it actually over? That moment, she felt that she would lose control that very night and became a monster. She had already chanted the honorific names of several gods, but she had failed to receive any reprieve. Ah! I'm going to die. She withered and rolled about. She only saw a piece of paper with the words in ancient Hermes written to it. It was the mysterious incantation. Okay. The fool, pull her into the gray fog, so you can save her, right? Calm down. I'm not gonna calm down. I'm immersed. You telling me to calm down is killing my immersion. It was the mysterious incantation Chio had found of in the history of the Lower Kingdom's aristocracy. Her chanting of it had even attracted an existence suspected to be an evil spirit. Even if it's an evil spirit, as long as you can help me, I'm willing to accept. Such a thought flashed through Force's turbid mind. She struggled to look over as she used all her strength to whisper, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era, the mysterious ruler above the grey fog." Come on. Klein, be locked in. Do not stall. Immediately let her in. Please. Brace the door. No, brace the fool. Please. Ah, God. The king... Oh, yeah. The mysterious ruler above the grey fog. The king of yellow and black who wields good luck. Save me, please. Brace the fool. First Lucy, busy. The full moon's ravings. Okay. I do think the goddess is not whispering to, obviously, to okay, I have a theory. Listen to the theory. I have a really good theory. I just thought of this. What if listen, the reason why she hears ravings on the full moon is because maybe the goddess herself prisoned Mr. Thor into the moon. And every time there's a full moon, the door starts to rave or murmur. And that's why Force hear it, because Force is Sequence Sign Apprentice, and I'm guessing maybe, or most certainly now, that the door that Roselle was talking to is Sequence 0 of the Apprentice pathway. So... Shut up? Okay. Sure. Next chapter. I'm actually gonna write it down though. The door is imprisoned. On the moon, the goddess, the Evernight goddess, imprisoned him. Okay, sorry, Mr. Thor, not the door. Thor's son? The Evernight goddess imprisoned him. Him or them? Him. Oh, you're talking to Shara? Anyway, so I think that's very plausible, right? Because, you know, why does Force hear these murmurs during the full moon? It's because that's when the door can speak and reach Force, and because he's imprisoned there or some shit like that. And I feel like the full moon only comes randomly when the goddess is up to no good, maybe, you know, killing someone or doing a punishment on the door. Anyway, okay, some art. Oh my god, Chancho, huh? Where's the art? I'm a boomer, guide me, guys. This is Tracy. And I have a theory that Tracy is a demoness. I like her. I like her. She looks cool. She's my type. Just less. That's a spoiler. The spoiler is still there, mods. Unless you're baiting or like fake spoiling. Mods. I wanna see how long the spoiler day stays. Fake spoiler? Fuck. You got me. What if you are playing 3D chess? What if the fake spoiler is actually a spoiler and it actually is for real? Anyway, Tracy is cool. I like her. Look at this booty, as in the treasure that she has stolen from other places. Right? A lot of booty behind her. Fanber, what is happening? I'm in a new theory. Mr. Thor is imprisoned on the moon. The Evernight goddess imprisoned him. That's my new theory. Anyway. And Force is getting dragged into the grey fog in a second here, but we're looking at art right now. Where is the other art? Just need to Lord of Mysteries art channel, come on. Okay, this is cute. We are randomly getting Leonard and Klein here. This is new official art, guys. Snowing. Aw, look at Klein going home to his boyfriend, by the way. I'm calling it right now. I wanna see Leonard in this volume. Please. Oh, look at Susie, man. Susie, telepathist soon? Or lose control. Which one? I wonder if the Sushi's lifespan increases, because stunt dogs usually live like 12 years or something like that. I don't know how long the novel is gonna go on for, but judging from the trailer of the MMO, I'm pretty sure Audrey is like 24 or something there, so it's not gonna last for that long. What's up, Merlin? How are you doing? Can I just go like this? Oh, look at Olger. Force. Just talking about Force, by the way, it's always snowing. It's like a Christmas special, you know? Force is losing control and we need to save her now. Now, Klein. Locked. Oh, rip. Dunsmith. I'm gonna send Dolly next. Handsome, wearing a suit. Like a full-on suit. Sniffing his pipe. Oof, good old pipe. Dolly. Of course it's Dolly after Dunsmith. Oh. We saw Dolly, by the way. 2 Monon Klein. We saw Dolly, by the way, earlier. And when, you know, the fight was happening between Lanevus and Aftermath after Lanevus was murdered by Klein. Azik. Wonder what Azik is up to, by the way. Is he like finding more info about himself? Shaw? Whoa, Shaw. Do they celebrate Christmas in China, by the way? You wanna see Klein one more? Klein is so cute, man. Presents. Oh, one for Penson, one for Melissa, and one for himself. Azik, my hug pillow. That's so cute. I want to have Klein body pillow. Present for each of the sibling. Thank you for showing me that. Anyway, very bad timing though, because the full moon's ravings, the door is murmuring to Force. So let's see what happens. Studio whitewashed Azik. Yeah, I see that. I mean, it's usual. Didn't they do the same thing in Genshin Impact? Also, that's not what whitewashing means, by the way. Whitewashing means when you... it's not literally like washing your skin color. Whitewashing means you change someone's history to make them seem like they were less evil. For example, oh, someone whitewashed Hitler, for example. It's like undermining their crimes. Eindu is woke. Eindu is woke. What? No! Yeah, that's what whitewashing means, Fanbear. You're so dumb. I argued with him for like 40 minutes today actually. Read. Whitewashing refers to the practice of deliberately covering up, suppressing, or glossing over scandalous, immoral, or incorrect facts to make a person, organization, or history appear more favorable. You have internet, Rear. You have internet. Oh, Bro Trust AI, man. Oh my god. Isn't it both? No, it's not both. Riri is such a fucking rage baiter, man. I can't, dude. I fucking can't, man. Also, Eindu is woke. Nah, it's not like I've been talking about socialism all the time. And talking about, you know, left-wing stuff all this time in the last, like, 20 streams. Nah, Eindu is woke. What? Eindu is woke. Bro is the type of guy to go on a protest. Nah, I'm the type of guy that's gonna protest. Yeah, of course I am. Man. Let's keep reading, guys. The full moon's ravings. Klein had just put on his double-breasted frock coat, picked up his half-top hat, and was walking toward the door when he heard a series of illusory prayers. Come on, you have to lock in here, Klein. You have to lock in here to save her. Who is it? He frowned slightly and listened, but he could only confirm that the supplicant was a woman, and that her voice was staccato, as though she were in great pain. So you have to hurry up, Klein. Since he had nothing particular urgent to tend to, the newly advanced magician, Klein casually tossed half-top hat onto the coat rack accurately, and he... Why did you have to mention that, like, a flex? Casually tossed his half-top hat onto the coat rack accurately. Bro is flexing. And he returned to his bedroom after taking 4 steps counterclockwise. He entered the majestic palace. Please save force from the murmurings of the door. Please. This time he didn't see any illusory star expanding or contracting with a deep red glow. Instead, the end of the ancient mottled bronze table by the side of the full seat was a clear radiance dripping out. It's a prayer from non-Tarot Club member. Is it sure that lady with curly brown hair? Klein speculated as he took her. Please save her life. Since he had already emptied the anonymous account, he didn't suspect that someone was trying to steal his wealth. Leaning back, Klein pointed with his left, because the password for his account is, you know, the same chant. Leaning back, Klein pointed with his left hand, spreading out his spirituality to touch the rippling light. The scene around him suddenly changed. He saw the overturned coffee table, the slanted sofa, books and papers strewn all over the floor, and the woman with the brown hair struggling in pain. At the same time, Klein heard prayers. The fullest and prolonged era, the mysterious ruler of the grey fog, the king of yellow and black who wields good luck. Save me, save me, save me. From the looks of it, she seemed to be losing control. Her hair is growing longer and at discriminable speed. Oh my god, you have to save her, because she's like literally a moment away from losing control. Holy shit. Oh, Lucy, hello. When did you come? How long were you? Because I was just ranting and screaming at rear for like 10 minutes. From the looks of it, she seems to be losing control. Her hair is growing longer at discernible speed, and her skin is covered with a layer of sinister white light. How could they possibly save her? Klein observed carefully for a few seconds, then mumbled to himself, feeling stumped. It was at this moment that he detected in the woman's anguished pleas a faint illusory instinct raving. Yes, a raving. Let's see what it says here. These ravings were similar to the ones he experienced before rising above the grey fog, but he had no madness or evil to it at all. What do you mean it's the same? Or similar? Furthermore, it didn't contain any obvious malice. It appears that this lady's state is nearly losing control as a result of hearing the ravings. If she stops hearing it, could she be able to calm down and turn for the better? In thought, Klein reached his hand out of the rippling circle of light. Okay, so so far the connections to the grey fog that I have wrote down is that the grey fog is somehow connected to the Moses ascetic order, because Moses means drawn from the water or pull and throw out, like Olga got pulled into the grey fog. Mr. Thor is imprisoned on the moon, the Evernight goddess imprisoned him, and is the apprentice pathway something... Does the apprentice pathway have something to do with the grey fog as well then? Because he heard like similar murmurs. Maybe. Apprentice pathway has connections to the grey fog. Now I wonder if Siri is interchangeable between apprentice and the mystery briar pathway. Another theory that we have is that Siri is related to or interchangeable with Savant, not Savant, sorry. 1 second. Monster. Marauder and Apprentice. Oh, Apprentice is mentioned here actually. Remember when Saratul told Roselle to choose Seer, Marauder, or Apprentice? What's up, Lord of Kilbys? How are you? Let's keep reading. The beast that this lady said of Mary losing control is a result of hearing the ravings. If she keeps hearing it, could she be able to calm down and turn for the better? And thought Klein reached his hand out the rippling circle of light. Following that, he allowed his spirituality to gush out his body, establishing a firm and mysterious connection. After advancing the magician, his spirituality had become a lot more abundant, and the burden in his aspect had decreased accordingly. Nice! Force felt her head muddling as she felt her thoughts were like a boiling water. They were constantly bubbling in a bid to break free of the restraints of her head. Am I dying? I don't want to become a monster. Just as she was woefully thinking in her mind, and pain flooded over her like a tidal wave. Aww. I don't get, like, some people hate Force. How? How do you hate Force, man? Oh, I'm so sad. Suddenly she was wide awake. The pain, the irritation, the madness, and the despair which she felt so deeply in her bones seemed to no longer exist, as though it was only an illusion. Thank God, the grey fog, the healing. It's like it's a miracle. There's a miracle invoker in the Pathway, but it's like a miracle. The grey fog saves lives. It's like it's out of this world. Oh my God. Okay, Kung Fu Chicken, thank you. Who hates Force? Panber. And Kudia, apparently. I thought it was only an illusion. I managed to enter through it so quickly today. Is it no longer a blood moon? Confused, Force opened her eyes, which she had unconsciously closed. She found an endless grayish white fog beneath her. Around of her was an ancient model bronze table. Oh my God. Force is gonna be so indebted to Klein, by the way. So indebted to Klein. I wonder if Klein is gonna like use that, oh, I saved your life, you should do this for me, you should do that for me, I saved your life after all. I wonder if Klein is gonna do that. Where's this place? Surprised, she looked around and saw numerous towering stone pillars, as well as towering palace that was propped up by those stone pillars. Then at the very end of the long bronze table, she saw a mysterious figure shrouded in the thick grey fog, who seemed to be overlooking everything from above. What is this place? Who is he? Force turned wary and questioned inwardly. Then she remembered what she had just done. Under her extreme pain, she had chanted the mysterious incantation which Shio had found in the history of the Lower Kingdom's aristocracy. That's like such a big coincidence, though. What the fuck? An incantation that was suspected to be directed at some evil god. Not just evil spirits, he was actually able to temporarily help me get rid of the harmful effects of those terrifying ravings. He even pulled me into this strange world. This, while Force suppressed the fear in her heart, she half stood up and bowed. May I know who you are? At that moment, suddenly recalled the contents of the incantation as she blurted out, "You are the Fool, Mr. Fool? You are His Excellency, Mr. Fool?" "The Fool?" Klein smiled slightly and said, "Just call me Mr. Fool." As he spoke, he noticed on the back of the chair in which Force was sitting on, the symbols and mysterious patterns formed by the shining stars were rapidly changing. Let me guess, it's a door, right? It's a door. In just 1 or 2 seconds, the interior of the room was covered with layers upon layers of doors. That many? Numerous illusory doors of the same kind were formed there. Door? As soon as Klein saw the symbol, he immediately associated with the mention of the Mr. Door in Roselle's diary. Yeah, because Mr. Door is raving to her. I wonder, is he sequence 1 or sequence 0? If the door is sequence 1, then why, if the goddess did imprison Mr. Door, why won't she kill him if he was sequence 1? But if he's sequence 0, okay, so it makes sense for the goddess to imprison the door because, remember what Roselle said, there can only be one sequence 0. If the goddess can control some sequence 0s, then those sequence 0s can never be replaced by new sequence 0s, right? Because, he holds them as prisoners. How are they gonna die? Compliment from Vanber? Holy! 53. The goddess has imprisoned sequence zeros because there can only be one sequence zero, so it makes sense. What is this play? Oh. During a full moon, the other party will come close to the real world and let out cries for help. Yeah, because if he's present on the moon, there's no other choice, right? Could the framings have something to do with Mr. Thor? It's the night of the blood moon tonight, an enhanced version of the full moon. This lady corresponds to a door, and the symbol of the back of Miss Chio's seat is similar to the Sword of Judgment. Klein noted indiscriminately. Interesting, I'm gonna note this. Also, all the notes on the right. What if the goddess is the real villain, by the way? What if she soon has monopoly of all the sequences, looking up everyone, and is the sole ruler? Through this, he confirmed that once a stable connection was established, and that if the other party was a beyonder, the symbol behind the seat will change according to the other party's actual circumstances. They didn't have to necessarily join the Tarot Club and come to the mysterious base of the Grey Fog at fixed intervals. At that moment, waves of shock rose up in Force's heart. The Fool! It's indeed the Fool! That honorific name does point towards a powerful existence. What does he want? Will he want to make a transaction with my soul? Can you do that? Oh. She's worse than Epstein. Oh. At least it's better than losing control from those ravings. I guess it managed to claw my life back. However, happens in the future will just be a bonus. Yes, she's so indebted. While she was still lost in her thoughts, suddenly I heard Mr. Fool ask with a smile, You hear ravings from nowhere every full moon? How does he know? Next, the Fool Glazer is here. Force looked over in surprise and replied in daze, Yes. Before she finished her sentence, she suddenly thought of a possibility and asked, Do you know the origin of those ravings? Do you know who is trying to harm me? Do you know how to solve the problem once and for all? I don't think, the door doesn't wanna harm Force. I think it's like pleading for help from anyone that, they can, right? Is a miserable wretch who lost in darkness and trapped in a storm. Is a miserable wretch who is lost in darkness and trapped in a storm. Yeah, it was mentioned storm, but storm can be like metaphorical though, right? Klein had intended to reply with the words that would shape his image, but when he thought about it, he couldn't be sure that the woman in front of him had indeed heard the words coming from Mr. Door. In order to not make any mistakes and to not embarrass himself in the future, he skipped over the question and said with a fake smile, He might not necessarily want to hurt you. Perhaps he's just asking for your help. Therefore, the ravings weren't malicious, no crazy, or evil. Asking for my help? But those ravings pushed me closer and closer to losing control. If you hadn't helped me, I might have become a monster by now. Force returned incredulously. I mean, yeah, because if Force lost control, that means that Force is not good enough to save the door, right? Or save Mr. Door. So thank God Klein acted fast and saved her life, man. Imagine, dude. Imagine Klein was busy drinking the magician potion here and couldn't make it in time. I'm gonna be so sad. Klein grinned and said, That's because you're too weak. I'm too weak, Force was stunned and lost. Yeah, that's what I said. Gleefully briefly explained, difference in your life, natural order, and his is too great. Perhaps just by breathing normally, the storm brought about him can rip you to pieces. Perhaps as the cleanse from him will cause you to die on the spot. Of course, if he purposely controls his own strength, it's not that he can't communicate normally with you. However, his voice might need to pass through layers of obstructions in order to reach your ears. Deliberate control typically implies a failure to call for help. That is if you assume that he is calling for help. Differences in our life natural order is too great. I will die from just one glance from him. Force was stunned from what she heard. After quite some time, she forced a smile and said, "This reminds me of a saying, do not directly look at God." Klein smiled at her without giving a positive answer. Yep, do not. Klein knows firsthand. Why was Klein not busy? Why are you such a hater, man? I will Fanber, I love you, dude. You are so cool for engagement. I'm not using for that, by the way, but you're so good for engagement, but you're so funny, man. Could it be that those terrifying ravings really come from an existence who's nearly a god? Mr. Fool can help me eliminate that person's influence, and all this time he's been talking about it in a rather bland tone. Does this mean that he and that existence, life, natural order are the same level? The more she's thought about it, yep, the more, yeah, sure, the more shocked she became, even her body won't stop trembling. Another Klein Glazer in the Tarot Club. 3 to 5 minutes. It's the night of the blood moon. If it exceeds 7 minutes, Force gathered her thoughts and answered honestly. Klein waited for a few seconds, then asked, "How long does it last every full moon?" 3 to 5 minutes. If it's the night of the blood moon, it will exceed 7 minutes. Force gathered her thoughts and answered honestly. The more Klein listened, the more he felt that the ravings owner belonged to Mr. Dorr. He temporarily put the matter down and smiled. "You can return in a few minutes. There is only one way to solve your problem, and that is to raise your life's natural order." Force hesitated for a moment before saying, "Whenever I encounter the full moon, I can recite your name. I will be your devout believer." "No, there's no need," Klein smiled and shook his head, "but I don't mind helping you along the way." "Thank you so much!" Although she suspected that she was dealing with an evil god, she no longer wanted to experience the same painful nightmare as before. Oh, it's cute. Chat! Can we stop hating on Force on her chapter when she joins the Tarot Club and nearly died? Imagine saying Force deserved to die, by the way. Imagine. You just wanna be different. You just wanna be... If you're hating on Force, you're just hating on her because you wanna be different. Man, I'm losing hope in humanity when I read your comments, Fenber, really. Like, all like, you know... Are all young people so dumb? No, I understand, by the way. People have their preferences, and you are right to have one, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna flame you, right? After confirming this matters relaxed a lot, noticing that there were still many seats around the long spawn stable. Sorry, I just yapped so fucking much. Thank you so much. Although she suspected that she was dealing with an evil god, she no longer wanted to experience any same painful nightmare as before. After confirming this matter, she relaxed a lot, noticing that there were still many seats around the long prawn stable. She asked probingly, "Mr. Fool, it seems there are others who come here frequently." "No, they might not necessarily be human," Force added silently. Klein smiled and said, a casual attitude, "There are few people who are similar to you. I pulled them here for various reasons. They hope that I can hold a gathering at regular intervals to facilitate the trade of formulas, ingredients, information, and missions." I agree to it. Force was enticed by what she heard. Thinking that she was already part of this, she boldly asked, "Mr. Fool, can I join the gathering?" "Sure, there are 3 in the afternoon on Mondays. Remove all disturbances." Klein smiled and pointed at the cards that suddenly appeared on the surface of the long prawn stable. They decided to use the names of the tarot cards as their code names. You can pick one of these, but these already belong to someone and cannot choose from. Let's see. Wait. Where are my theories? I have made 53 theories, by the way, in what, like 60 chapters? I haven't even reached my final form, guys. Okay, I know of the good song. Can someone give me the full version? This is only 2 minutes. The moon. My theory was the moon. Spoilers? How? Moon. Don't look shit up. Where are the spoilers? Let's see. Is she gonna choose the moon? Force nodded her head, shuffling the cards and cutting them with great interest while mumbling, "Let fate arrange my title." Soon she pulled out a card and looked at it. The magician! What? Wait. Oh, I'm blind? Oh. The magician? What? Interesting. That was wrong then. Damn. Oh, this song is so good. Magician. Okay, new theory. Seer pathway is interchangeable with apprentice. Is it a double theory? Is it a duplicate theory? Oh, also, last theory that I'm really proud of is one of the higher sequences of series called Master of Ceremonies, by the way. Do you know what the Master of Ceremonies is? Circus leader. A circus leader is a master of ceremonies. I just saw a spoiler. Really? I'm gonna close the tab then. Did you know circus leader is called Master of Ceremonies, by the way? Oh my god, a new theory! What the fuck happened, guys? What happened? People came in spoiling? New theory, listen, I had to lock in for this. I closed the tab because apparently there were spoilers or something. Thank God I'm dumbass, I guess. I have a new theory. Listen up. What if you combine the three pathways to combine one ultimate pathway? So, let's say a magician, marauder, and seer combines into one pathway called the Mysteries pathway. And then you start from sequence 9 to sequence 0. The reason why I brought this up is because yesterday we were talking about, someone mentioned that, oh, Kakati Weed on the reactor called sequence 0 early on because he was metagaming and saying that, oh, there's always a hidden power out somewhere. Well, what if there is a hidden power other than sequence 0? After sequence 0, you ascend. Wait, that doesn't actually make sense. Do you know why it doesn't make sense? Because there's only gonna be one sequence 0, unless that's propaganda that we fell for. L theory. Okay, thank you. Every Every once in a while, there's gonna be an L theory, guys. It's just natural, because if I get 100% things right, that cannot be a coincidence anymore. Anyway, maybe you're just you're not leaning, like you are misleading me, guys. Surely. 298. Also, if you are just new here and weren't here at the start of the stream, I am currently my PC is really fucking bad, which means I am building a new PC. Hopefully, in a few weeks, we can start streaming Lord of Mysteries game. No, it's gonna take a long time for that to come out, but hopefully we can start streaming like Where Winds Meet, and also we can start streaming other games until Lord of Mysteries comes out. Which is gonna be, by the way, outside of the schedule, because I play games alone anyway, right? So when I play games alone, I'm gonna involve you guys. Because currently, I just can't play games on the stream. My PC is so fucking bad. I'm not rich enough. I'm buying them in 4 installments, and I'm gonna take a loan from my dad. I'm not rich enough. I'm full-time YouTuber. You think I'm rich? I'm pretty sure the Lord of Mysteries game will have spoilers. I'm gonna be finished by then. Oh yeah, Expedition 33. I'm gonna play Expedition 33, and Lucy Rem has to be present every single second I'm playing that. Are you still here for Lucy Rem? Okay, good. You have to be present. I'm not gonna play without you, because you keep glazing this game so much that you just need to be there. I called you Force, by the way. What's Expedition 33? Pro said, what? Game of the Year? These are PC parts. Anyway, let's go back reading Lord of Mysteries. Another case. Case? Chio? Are we talking about like another member? Force's eyelashes fluttered a few times before she slowly opened her eyes, only to find herself lying on the floor of her living room. Through the window, she saw that the bright moon was hanging high in the sky like a crimson disk. The normally thin and blurry chiffon seemed to turn into rich, bloody light. I'm not dead. I didn't lose control. It wasn't a dream just now. I really was saved by a mysterious and powerful Mr. Fool. When Force sat up and examined herself, she saw that there were nothing unusual about the rest of her body except that her hair had grown longer and tenser. But my life is completely different from before. I don't know if this is good or bad. Silently mumbling to herself, Force sat on the ground, hugging her knees. Oh, my heart. While he's lost in thought, her mind will sometimes wander off, and at times she will be anxious, sad, or confused. About the grey fog, Klein looked at the chair, which had a symbol of a layered door on its back. He muttered to himself in thought, I wonder what kind of information is contained in those ravings. When she's at sequence 7 or sequence 6... 7 or 6, guys? Dead meme. She should be able to resist the negative effects and hear the content of the ravings. Ooh! I think the content is literally plea, though. Literally plea. Right? Like, oh, I'm in prison, please save me. Oh, the goddess is evil, she's gonna end the world. If she hasn't crafted the acting method, I can let Miss Justice and the other help me teach her. I have sworn under a holy artifact that the goddess that I won't mention anything related to the acting method to people who aren't aware of it. When I want sequence 5 and become a marionettist, perhaps I can use... Well, sorry, it went to Klein. My head is so disfocused right now, I'm sorry. The ravings of Hornatzis and Phlegreia. Now Hornatzis, obviously I know what it is, but I feel like if Klein goes there, it's gonna trigger an event that's something to do with the residents of the Kingdom of Evernight, who used to be alive but disappeared suddenly. So I'm guessing maybe when Klein goes there, he's gonna find something, he's gonna activate something, maybe he's gonna resurrect all these people, and maybe that's how Saratul gets resurrected, maybe that's how, you know, they can use the people there for like something, I don't know, but it's something to the seer pathway, right? And then a Flecrea, I think, might be a person, maybe a high sequence beyonder, who's somewhat related to the seer pathway, maybe a previous god of the seer pathway or sequence 0, we don't know, maybe. Anyway, in advanced sequence 5 and become a marionettist, perhaps I can use a corresponding ritual and the uniqueness of this mysterious space to remotely control her and directly see what she sees and hear what she sees. Yeah, that's what I meant, bro. And I made a theory that when you're a marionettist, you can damage transfer your... Okay, let me write it down, actually. This is the most baking stream I've ever seen. It's a cooking stream, guys. It's a cooking stream. When using damage transfer as a marionettist on someone you control, you can put your injuries on them. The way can determine if it's Mr. Dor, the gentleman who has witnessed the history of the 4th epoch, might even be older than Mr. Azik, who had lived multiple lives. I wonder what sequence his strength and level are equivalent to 2 or even 1. What about 0? Have you ever considered 0? After some consideration, he felt that his spirituality has become unstable, so he hurriedly descended into the grey fog and returned to the real world. This was common occurrence after a recent advancement, therefore Klein gave up on going out and he patiently entered cogitation at home, attracting and releasing his spirituality. In the wee hours of the morning, Forrest took the earliest steam metro back to St. Georgesboro, where taking a public carriage to the 2-bedroom apartment where she lived with Shio. I wonder though, like, when is Shio gonna join next Tarot Club? People spoiling again? When she opened the door, she was surprised to find Shio, who usually slept late toasting some bread. The sudden appearance of last night's blood moon gave me insomnia, so I woke up very early. Force, are you alright? Did those ravings get stronger? Gio asked, looking up with concern. Oh, Gio is worried for her best friend, man. Force's vision suddenly blurred. She turned her head to the side, forced a smile, and said, with her usual confrontational tone. Oh, it's still hurting her from back then. What happened to your brain? Didn't I say it before? The ravings definitely become stronger during the blood moon. But it doesn't affect me at all. Yeah, it doesn't affect me at all. Look at me. Look at how energetic I am right now. Come on, Forrest. You're not... ain't fooling nobody. Hey, toast a piece of bread for me too. I thought you didn't like eating it this way. Gio tidied her short, blonde hair and mumbled softly. After taking his first step at revenge and attaining an advancement, Klein slept through the night. He leisurely went... Is it all... No, it's not the same day. Days have passed, of course. He leisurely went out to buy Feina butter noodles for breakfast, along with a Tessie bai and a cup of sweet iced tea. Isn't Tessie a thing in, like, India? I'm so ignorant. Can you guys tell me? In Styes, this chapter? Exactly, in Styes. After enjoying his delicacies in satisfaction, he put down his fork and knife and picked up the newspaper. He was in very relaxed mood as he began to read. A quick scan... Am I recording? Okay. A quick scan revealed that the headlines of the Dossa Times read, Night of the Blood Moon, the killer demon strikes again. By the way. I know this is like a coincidence probably, right? And this is some demonic ritual for advancement on the monster pathway, but listen to me. Remember what I said about like full moon turning red when there's a massacre or when there's like a killing? Yeah, this is like usually a superstition, right? And this is a coincidence, but maybe goddess like offed someone, you know what I mean? And then the door could speak for a few seconds. Again, Klein quickly flipped through the front pages of the other newspaper and saw many similar titles. Ince is dying like past 10 chapters. Not enough times, guys. Why do you hate the goddess? Because I feel like there's something up with the goddess, man. The 11th through case, the police are helpless. The gold-blooded killing demon has once again made a clear mockery of the police. The atmosphere of panic is spreading through Backland. Ugh, the Nighthawks and the mental punishers must all be having headaches, right? Klein sighed in his heart. To be honest, he had the urge to catch the killer. Yeah, because to advance you have to like kill what, minimum 13 people, and every few days to advance in the sequence that this guy is advancing in. Ints dies in 3 worlds. This Nighthawks and the Minded Punishers must all be having headaches, right? Client side in his heart, and killed Ints. To be honest, he had the urge to catch the killer. Back on Earth, when he was weak, he would often teach him about being a person to uphold justice and punish evil. But now Sequence 7 Beyonder, Client felt sorry for his past dreams and to do his choice of not being a superhero. Ask Isengard, the best detective in Backland, who surely is not Sequence 7 reader. Surely he's not. Sigh, what a pity, this case already received a high level of attention. If I were to join in, won't that mean that I'm waiting for my identity to be exposed? I still have to be rational. Furthermore, according to the Sun, the culprit is highly likely to be advancing from Sequence 6 to Sequence 5. Although I won't be afraid of him, I might not be able to catch him even with the new spells and spell-like abilities I gained. It's quite risky. After thinking about the decline, still chose to follow his deepest beliefs and remain an ordinary citizen. He believed that the strength of the few churches, if the killer were, he believed that with the strength of a few churches, if the killer were to continue committing crimes, there was a high chance of them getting caught. After flipping through the news, Klein glanced at the Backland Morning Post and found that the advertisement of the Ernst firm purchase of goods had appeared again on the 5th page. Okay, so that means it's the Beyonder gathering from Temu, right? With the Nox. Today's password? There's going to be a gathering tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I can sell the Spring of the Elves Marrow crystals to the apothecary then. Klein muttered as he memorized the first 4 digits of the price listed. Half an hour later, he finished reading a thick newspaper in front of him and started to seriously consider his future plans. The long-term plan is to advance to higher sequence, becoming a demigod expert before I plot my revenge against Ints God Zangbil. I mean, he says demigod expert, right? But why doesn't he do what he did to Rosago? I'm guessing Ints, of course, is a lot smarter than Rosago, you know. But just hire some goons, you know? Water is wet. Comment. Which one? The long-term plan is to, a mid-term plan is to find the acting method for a magician and slowly summarize the corresponding principles to observe. So I just play on tricks on people, right? Like make them entertain people maybe. To observe as to digest the potion bit by bit. During this process, I'll start my search for the characteristic of a human skin shadow. Ugh. What the fuck is a human skin shadow, by the way? Hair from a deep-sea naga and thousand-faced hunter blood. Mutated picture decline, as well as the means to remove an evil card's corruption from an object. The beyond ingredients of sequence 6 each cost around 1,500. It's very expensive. That's a lot of money. That's like $250,000 each ingredient, by the way. So I swear to God, like reaching sequence 0, you have to like genocide the whole fucking nation, right? As a ritual or something like that. In addition, you need to obtain a mystical item that focused on attacking or controlling. Although a magician is very powerful, most of the Beyonder powers are used for life preservation and escaping in a corresponding environment. The strongest attack is that of the custom revolver. The only boon is how it takes others by surprise and also lacks the means to control an enemy. Yeah. Short-term plan. Okay, he's planning the next steps, by the way. He is planning the next steps. Short-term plan. I'll be putting up some paper figurines and make preparations for my powers. I'll visit the circus in the afternoon as a way to relax and for entertainment. I can try to gain inspiration for the acting by observing ordinary magicians. Yes, I saw in the newspaper that there are few permanent circuses in Backland. Interesting. After finalizing his thoughts, Klein immediately tidied up his plates, cleaned his knife and fork, and devoted himself into being busy making preparations. When it was almost noon, he put down the scissors and looked at the 3 crude paper figurines in front of him. He sighed and muttered to himself, this is probably the first time in my life that I've done handicraft so seriously. Locked in. Fortunately, just cut out some paper figurines and not flowers or embroidery. It's fine as long as it's shaped like a person. The fool's buns. Sorry, if it wasn't for the fact that my hands were become textures, I might fail today. I just used an additional paper figurine to test his capabilities and confirm that everything was fine. He folded the paper figurines and hid in a stack of notes. Klein put them away into his pocket. Just as he was about to go out and enjoy a meal at a slightly better restaurant before heading to the nearest circus, at a slightly better restaurant, Bro treated himself. Heading to the nearest circus to watch the performance, the doorbell suddenly rang and the pleasant jingling sounds echoed in the air. It's like jingle, 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 jingle. A job the advertisement deposit should be almost done with its listing period. Wearing a starched shirt and thin warm sweater, client came to the door and grabbed the handle. Oh, detective advertisement? Yeah. Our Lord and Savior, the fool is just not buns. You don't know. You don't know unless you know. Anyway, whatever. At the same time, the image of the visitor appeared in his mind. It was a man in his 40s. He was fat. And he appeared to have difficulty even standing. Mr. Apothecary, maybe? Maybe it's Apothecary from the meeting, because they always wear masks, right? His eyes were tiny from the copious amount of flesh on his face. Bro is a savage. Oh, the skin was rough but very white. He had a gentleman's cane in his hand and very tall and large hat on his head. A comically fat person, guys. Even though Backlund was cold in October, the man's forehead was dripping with sweat. Beside him were two attendants in bright red coats, supporting him from both sides. Okay, some rich guy probably. Tycoon, some businessman, beyonder perhaps, because bro has money. I don't know him, Glenn mumbled, and before his spiritual reception could respond, he opened the door. Good afternoon, the weather is truly scorching hot. Good afternoon, the weather is truly scorching hot. The fat middle-aged man took out the handkerchief and wiped the sweat off his forehead. As he spoke, the cold wind blew, causing the two attendants beside him to shiver. Good afternoon, is there anything I can help you with? Klein asked politely. So, what does the fat man want, guys? You are Detective Sherlock Moriarty. I have something I want to entrust you with. The middle-aged man paused to smile and said, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Rogo Coloman, a jewelry businessman. Of course. Please come in, Klein smiled and made way. Rogo Coloman stepped in heavy footsteps. Bro has to mention every time that he's fat, by the way. With heavy footsteps and sat down on a sofa, causing the old furniture to emit a resident groan. What is it exactly? Klein took out a copper penny and deftly rolled it around his fingertips. Rogo sighed and said, Ugh, I wish for you to protect my son until tomorrow afternoon. He has offended some lunatics. Lunatics? Aurora Order? I feel like lunatics is a very common insult though. Until tomorrow afternoon, have you found a solution? Why not call the police? Klein asked hurriedly. Rogo remained silent for a few seconds before saying, Adol got into some bad company and was led to... Wait, Adol? Let me search my highlights. There's nothing in my highlights that says Huddle. Is it case sensitive? It's not. Let's try Tracy to see if it works. Yeah, Tracy works, by the way. So these notes are so fucking useful. Anyway. What the fuck happened? Wait, what the hell? Adol seems to be a new character. Let's copy his name so I can go back to it later. Where is it? Heavy footsteps, by the way. I'm Rogo Coleman, a jewelry businessman. I was left to bad things by them. It's nothing too serious, but ones that can land him in prison unless it's necessary. I don't want to call the police. Okay. Okay, so he's a bad boy, right? He's been with delinquents. He recently had a falling out with those bad friends of his. As a result, he suddenly broke down and kept yelling that those people wanted to kill him. Is bro part of like a organization? He was very worried, so I hired 6 senior bodyguards from a security company to keep watch outside. Then I hired another 4 private tech. How rich are you? To take shifts watching over Adol, even he's sleeping. One of the detectives suddenly had an accident at home and will only be able to return tomorrow afternoon. Therefore, I can only hire another detective at the last minute. Bro has already 10 people protecting the son, bro. I'm sorry, I can only hire you for 1 day. Yes, the reward is 10 pounds and it's only to counter danger. I'll add more. You'll definitely be satisfied. That's a lot of money, by the way. Username, you missed the best stream of all time. I'm about to end and you missed the best stream of all time. If I was you, I would be so sad, man. Is that so? 10 pounds for a day, that's equivalent to a week's salary to Mr. Sammer for next door. Eating good, right? I was able to tell from the color of the other's emotions he wasn't lying. During the brief silence in the living room, he kept flipping the copper penny between his fingers and with a thought fell in his palm. Klein glanced at it, bent his fingers and smiled. Teal! Yep, wants the 10 pounds. From the jewelry guy. Jewelry salesman. Anyway. By the way, we are taking 30 minutes per chapter because we yap so much. Okay, let's go through my theories quickly that I made today, right? A lot of theories. The people of Evernight Kingdom in the Onatsis mountain range will be resurrected when Klein reaches the mountain range. One of the higher sequences of Seer is called Master of Ceremonies. The Grey Fog is somehow connected to the Moses Ascetic Order because Moses means drawn from the water or to pull out like Algar got pulled into the Grey Fog. Mr. Thor is imprisoned on the moon, the Evernight Goddess imprisoned him. Apprentice Pathway has connections to the Grey Fog. The Goddess has imprisoned Sequence Zeros because there can only be one Sequence Zero, so it makes sense. Seer Pathway is interchangeable with Apprentice. When using a damage transfer as a marionettist as on someone you control, you can put the injuries on them. It was a good stream because it was a cooking stream. It was a baking stream. Anyway, great chapters. We wrote down a lot of things also in the notes here. I started using this as well, and also we can like quickly like find stuff when we need to, right? And Force joined. I'm guessing Chio is next. It's gonna be really interesting to see the next Beyonder Gathering when Force is part of that. Also, we have a Beyonder Gathering with the group, like the demo one. The Beyonder Gathering demo. Fuck, I can't speak, man. Beyonder Gathering from demo happening with Caspers and Eye of Wisdom and those lot. And also we get a job for 10 pounds. Cool. I will end the stream here. I'll be back maybe on Friday. If not, we'll do a longer stream on Sunday. And we'll try to finish volume 2 maybe by the end of or start of March. We'll see. We are 32% done, by the way, so like 1/3. Anyway, bye bye. See you guys. Bye. Thank you for coming. Also, new PC coming soon, so we can stream stuff. We can stream Expedition 33 and all the Mysteries game and whatever you guys want, where wins meet. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you for the follows.